Today on Commander Replay, in honor of Memorial Day, we check out Tajic Soldier Tribal and say thanks to those that have served. Next on Commander Replay. If you guys are interested in playing webcam games of Commander with me and supporting the channel, feel free to check out the Eventbrite link in the description below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Tajic Blade of the Legion Soldier Tribal today in honor of Memorial Day. Fenrir Unbound, who's in the game with us today, asked me if I would do a little something for Memorial Day, and here we are, playing Soldier Tribals. So take a few moments today, be thankful for what you have, be thankful for our troops, and try to give a little something back if you can. So I ended up keeping an opening hand that looks like this. It's got 3 lands, it's got a Tithe, which gets us more lands, it's got a Thought Vessel, which is ramp, and then it's got Immortal Sun and Vanquisher's Banner, which is a good chunk of the card draw in this deck. So there's no soldiers in our hand, and there's like 32 creatures in this deck. I have a pretty good feeling we're going to find one pretty soon. So even though we don't have any soldiers in hand, I thought this is still a good hand just because it's going to generate a lot of value, and that's a thing that we really want to be doing, so... I think it's been a minute now since I've actually played like a go-wide tribal kind of deck, and I forgot how tough these things can be. Like, when you have like 32 creatures in a deck, you just can't have as much ramp as you want. You can't have as much removal. You can't have as much utility as you want. You have to give up card slots from somewhere, and when you have that many creatures, then you have to cut back on all of the other stuff. It's always a little bit frustrating. So anyway, was able to get it down to 100 cards, had to cut some soldiers that I really wanted into the deck. There's been a couple cool ones out of Theros. In particular, there was like a 2-mana one that allows you to give something protection from an opponent. Wanted to get that in here, but it didn't make the list. Had to cut it at the last second. Anyway, that brings it to our first turn. We draw a Nomad's Assembly. That'll get better later in the game. Let's play this Windbrisk Heights right now. Ooh, there's some stuff. Well, not going to be the Magma Quake. Choice between Tajic or Intrepid Hero. I'm going to go for Intrepid Hero. Tajic is protection. Opponent's playing red. Yeah, we have a Gahiji at the table. I'm going to go for the removal in Intrepid Hero. Tajic is cool. We do have other ways to find Tajic. We have a... Thalia's Lancers in the deck, so we can dig out legendaries if we need to. So we are playing Tajic Blade of the Legion, 2 in Boros for a 2/2, Indestructible, and Battalion, whenever it attacks with at least 2 other creatures, it gets +5/+5 until end of turn. Pretty sweet little card. Indestructible is something that you can really do some stuff with. Ooh, I think I forgot to put Pariah Shield in the deck. I did get Gideon's Sacrifice into the deck, though, which says, choose a creature, all damage that will be dealt to you, and... permanents you control is dealt to the chosen creature instead, which is super cool when you have Indestructible. So we'll get a one-time trick out of that to just have it soak up all the damage. I did mean to get Pariah Shield into the deck, but the deck's already super clunky on mana anyways, and Pariah Shield has this weird thing of, like, everyone can see it, so the only thing they want to do is remove it. It has this, like, really magnetic effect of just, like, everyone is fixated on it until it goes away, so... Gideon's Sacrifice being a surprise, I think might actually work a little bit better, and the fact that it's super mana efficient is really nice. Opponent lays down an Ancestral Blade. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token and attach the blade to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. And Fenrir lays down an Aven Squire. It's a bird soldier with flying and exalted. It is in fact a Rafiq deck. Yeah. Oh, that's a Soul Ring. This hand just got better. Play an Arid Mesa. Crack an Arid Mesa, get Plateau, play Soul Ring, play Thought Vessel, and we'll Tithe on our opponent's turns. Yeah, I think we're going to be... Actually, we're probably going to go for, like, Vanquisher's Banner first, I think is where I want to be. Yeah, maybe we go Immortal... Ooh, Immortal Sun's got cost reduction. Maybe we go Immortal Sun first. Immortal Sun's got a lot of, like, really nice abilities on it. Vanquisher's Banner, I think, is going to be overall more card draw, though. So maybe I'll go Immortal Sun first. Are we going to be on 6 next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll be on 6 next turn. A soldier going on the attack, going to swing into the Gahiji opponent. Yeah, Gahiji's going to make this game end really quickly. Let's take a look at what our opponents are playing. First up, we have Chaotix 2075 piloting Sisay Weatherlight Captain. And looks like he's doing a soldier theme as well. Got a couple soldier cards in there. Tithe Taker, interesting card. I wish it was just like a little bit stronger for EDH. If it was like it costs 2 extra, I think that would probably be about right for some more EDH play. At least at like the more powerful settings where you really want that type of effect. So slightly disappointed that it's like not quite Grand Abolisher. You're always going to run Grand Abolisher over that spot instead. Tithe Taker being the, you know, second much worse copy of it. Anyway, just airing some of my frustrations with Tie Taker. No big deal. And while I'm doing that, opponent lays down a Bloodforged Battle Axe, puts it on the Zaven Squire. Oh my. There's going to be some Battle Axes flying around. The one problem with the Battle Axe is that it does take a lot of mana to equip the copies. Late in the game, it can be good, but early in a game where your mana is really precious, every piece of mana you use early matters much more than any single mana late in a game. And I'm not saying mana isn't important late in a game, but when you have like 10 or 12 lands, much easier to equip a Bloodforged Battle Axe than when you have 3. Opponent gonna swing over to the Sisay? Sure. Did Chaotix miss a land drop, or was he last in the turn order? So opponent hits. Chaotix down to 36. Bloodforged Battle Axe will copy. It was also super unfortunate that they did not put a token copy of that card in the paper set, because it just causes problems when you have a lot of them. Here comes a Spoils of Victory for opponent. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, mountain, or forest, and put it onto the battlefield. We're going to fire off this Tithe, get the... No Misfail Plains in this deck? No Misfail Plains in the deck. Get a Sacred Foundry, get a Plains. I would say this deck's probably a little bit removal light. It has a lot of board... Nope, that's not the right deck. It has a lot of board wipes. We've got Austere Command to deal with artifacts and enchantments, and... Is Return to Dust still in here? No, I think just Austere Command to deal with artifacts and enchantments. So that's, yeah, that's not ideal. Like I said, that's a problem with high creature count decks. I could change the removal a little bit. I've got a lot of board wipes, which, I don't know, maybe I could cut back on that some. But, yeah, well, that's a Smothering Tithe. If we play the Smothering Tithe now... Yeah, let's play this... Did we doing that? So, like, I'm worried about whatever the first thing that I play, someone's just going to shoot. We can run Smothering Tithe out there to take the bullet. Yeah, let's do it. But that's pretty mana inefficient, though. All right, I'm gonna go Immortal Sun. We're going Immortal Sun. Play the Sacred Foundry untapped in case of a wheel. Go Immortal Sun. Ooh, Chaotix, 39 lands in there. No reason. Yeah, saying he shouldn't have to mull to 4 just to find lands. Ouch. Yeah, the Shuffler. The Shuffler. It's a pain, because, like, I really want to see what he has going in his deck, too. We've got a single wheel in the deck, so... unless we draw into it randomly. I might wheel to help him out, just because... I know how frustrating that is. I've been running into, like, some really weird clumping issues lately, and it's just been... It's been a headache. This opponent's gonna equip that second Bloodforged Battle Axe. Send the bird over to the Gahiji. Chaotix must have hit us while I was talking. So that puts us down to 35. Someone hit us. Rightfully so. I mean, as soon as we start doing stuff, I think opponents are going to realize that we're the target pretty quickly here. You know what we have to be careful of? This bird is now a 6/2 with another Bloodforged Battle Axe coming in. There's a third Bloodforged Battle Axe. If they just cast Rafiq, this could easily, like, half our life total or just kill us. That's actually a pretty big problem, and this deck is pretty soft to flyers. We're going to want to get this Intrepid hero in ASAP. Here comes Gahiji. Yep. That's a Mask of Memory for us, so finding all of our card draw, we'll get that extra card draw off the Immortal Sun. And it's a creature. Sweet. So, do we have... Well, this only finds... Yeah, okay. Play the Plains. What are we doing? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. But we have cost reduction, don't we? This would be 4, and that would be 3. That's exactly 7. We could go for Odric, or we could go for our Commander. Let's go Vanquishers into our Commander. Our Commander is indestructible, so I think that makes a lot of sense. At least stop stuff on the ground. Choosing Soldier on the Vanquisher's banner. Get Tajic. And we'll get a Vanquisher's banner trigger. We draw into Gerard. This deck is really heavy on 4-drops, so I tried to load up on the cost reduction because... when you talk about having a lot of clunkiness with like 4 and 5 drops, I think cost reduction is a better place to be than just like signets. Cost reduction is going to make it much easier to cast 2 of these in a turn than just having like signets and mind stones and stuff. Not to say you don't run them, but I'm just running less of them than I could be. I only have a couple things in the 2-mana ramp slot and have much more at these, you know, bigger, let me kind of value train type of cards. So KO lays down a Ledev Champion, finds another land, so he finally hits Bant. And he's going to swing over to the Rafiq opponent. Thought about coming into us for a second, but realized that Tajic is indestructible. Yeah, it's cool. You just leave it there. Just, it's a nice blocker. Until someone finds Trample or Flying, it can prevent you a lot of damage. Been meaning to make... I should make like a more Voltron type of Tajic deck. There's some cool stuff you can do. I talked about it a little bit, like Pariah Shield. Odric, Lunarch Marshal to spread it indestructible to all your stuff. That's a thing that we can do in this deck too. But, you know, he carries equipment well because he's indestructible, so the number of things that can actually interact with him are much lower than the number of things that can interact with everything else. So you think about, like, how many things are actually in someone's deck that can get rid of an indestructible creature? I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe? Depends on the deck. Mono black maybe has a few extras, but, you know, on average, I would say a deck has maybe 3 to 4 ways to deal with something indestructible. And that bird just going to keep coming in. It's an 8-2, a lot of Exalted. Oh, man, it's going to make so many Bloodforged Battle Axe triggers. And now the problem is they've got the Smothering Tithe in, so that's going to make a ton of mana, which is going to give them the mana to equip that thing. So we need to figure out something real quick about how we're going to stop this damage. We need to get this Intrepid hero into play. That will require multiple creatures. That's still a few turns away. It's not great. It's not great. Opponent's up to 5 Bloodforged Battle Axe. Thaumatic Compass did not make it in the deck. That'd be one that you probably want for this situation. A little bit of removal wouldn't hurt. Because at least if we can get them on the ground, we have Tajic as a blocker, and then, you know, they'll have to play the do they have trample game, and I'm sure they'll find it eventually if the game goes long enough, but at least in the short term, can keep us alive. You know what we have too? We have, oh, what's the name of it? It's the 5-mana Knight. You can sack a soldier to prevent all combat damage. That would be a pretty good pickup right now. So Gahiji's in play, Checkpoint Officer coming into play, and Goblin Sharpshooter, nice. The tapping target creature seems nice, especially on this giant bird. It's going to bring it back to our turn, Smothering Tithe. Trigger. Yeah, opponent's going to get a few of those. There's a Boros Garrison. That one's going to be super awkward to get into play. No, there's Smothering Tithe trigger. Alright, so let's get our Smothering Tithe into play. I think that's a thing that needs to happen. So, a lot of chaff on the ground right now, so we could Mask of Memory. I don't know that that's worth it in this moment. No, we have the Vanquisher's Banner. We can draw extra cards like that right now. Yeah, I guess get Odric. Get this Plains into play. Get Odric. See what we draw. We draw Alina. Not gonna pay. That might be a problem. Opponent could literally just, like, cast their commander and put all these things on it. Oof. Can we get a second creature? Because we need 3 creatures to get the Windbrisk Heights. No, everything's super expensive, so I think it's gonna be Mask of Memory. Equip the Mask of Memory. Are we doing it? I think we're doing it. That's got First Strike. Yeah, I think we have to attack them. There's too much incentive not to. Yeah, because this is gonna get bigger. It's gonna be 6. So, like, if we have to get into a life race with them, which we probably will. There's the Mask of Memory trigger. There's Oketra's Monument. Discard the... I guess the Flooded Strand. Only basic planes left to grab with it at this point. Yeah, opponent gets more treasures. It's all a problem. It's all a problem. Opponent's down to 22, though, and there is some incentive for other opponents to try and take them out. Like, if Chaotix just turned all these sideways at the Rafiq, it's going to be a lot of damage. Also, wouldn't mind a board wipe. There's a temple for him, so finally getting some lands. He's going to get a scry. Hopefully make life a little better for himself. Here comes Sisay. Alright. Finally getting his commander. He goes no attacks. Yeah, there's, like, enough axes to be a problem. 7 treasure tokens? Oh, man. Oh, we gonna die. We gonna die. Battle Grace Angel. Now it's got lifelink. And Exalted again. Throw on more battle axes. At least it's not Rafiq. Well, they could still cast Rafiq, actually. Alright, there's a battle axe. It's got 3 battle axes on it. It'll have double Exalted. If they cast Rafiq, it'll be triple Exalted, which would give it, what, 10 power? 10 double strike, put us to 7? Ooh. Gonna go on the axe plan. I think we have about 5 or 6 board wipes in the deck. I can't remember how many made it out by the time I actually finished the deck. So there's 3, about a half with Elish Norn, 4 with Austere Command, 5 with Rout. So 5.5, give or take. Also, we've got Catapult Master, which is some removal. We've got Intrepid Hero under the thing. Yep, opponent's going on the attacks and get lifelink. It's going to get Gahiji. It's going to get double Exalted. Oh my. Sending that into KO. Alright, alright. I really want to find that fog creature. It is called Knight Captain of Eos. That is the name of it. Yeah, we need to find that. Or one of these removal spells. If everything holds up, we're going to get to look at a few cards this turn, so that's good. Bloodforged Battle Axe copies 5 more times. Ooh. Also, we may just need to start paying for these Smothering Tithe triggers, because that's what's going to keep them from just equipping that. 2 Smothering Tithe. So 2 Smothering Tithe triggers, 1 for opponent, 1 for us. Opponent's talking about all the axes over there. Got PJ on the Value City, Fenrir on Axe Warehouse, Emporium, and KO and the other two are dirtling. Opponent's gonna tap the Battle Grace Angel. I may have kept that up just to tap that Avon Squire. That Avon Squire, really scary right now. Gonna send in the Gahiji. Yeah, this'll be a little poke. I was thinking about the other day, what is the maximum amount of damage, especially like early in a game? Now it's turn 6, it's starting to get a little more serious, but like, let's say but anytime before turn 6, what is the maximum amount of damage that you can hit someone for before it's really a problem? I think it's a number around maybe 3 or 4. It's like, okay, that hurt a little bit, but I'm not going to like start a blood feud with them over 3 or 4 damage. I think as you start getting to like, early in the games, you get to like 5 or 6, like I think they start to take note, and then, you know, anything above 10, of course, they're going to be like, hey now, remember that time you hit me? There's going to be a price for that. As a funny story, there was a game at my shop. This was, you know, a few months ago at this point. Many months ago? Probably many months ago, because, you know, the virus. But someone was playing Yorvo, and they swung into the Gishath player for like 28 on turn 6, I think. You know, it was a 5-player game, so like they could have spread the damage around. And they didn't, and then just, like, they had a blood feud all night. They were arguing the rest of the night about that play, because then Gishath blew up the board and then just attacked them mercilessly with dinosaurs. So, that was a blood feud unlike any other I had seen. Tajic into play, it's got haste. Opponent passes their turn. Oh, opponent going no haste, so just going for the red board wipe protection, I think. There's an Ameria. I probably want to get that into play. We can pay for the Smothering Tithe. We'll let the first one go. Don't really know what we're doing yet. Got some expensive stuff in our hand. I haven't done the math. Oh, that's a Feast and Famine. Okay, now we'll pay for it. Now we will pay for it. Pay for that one. Let's get this Ameria into play. Let's get Oketra's Monument. Feast and Famine. Equip the Feast and Famine. We should have moved the swords. That'll be fine. About to make a lot of bodies as soon as these lands on tap. Swing into the Rafiq opponent. They are kind of a problem. Hope this resolves. Opponent's got treasure tokens. There's a white mana up right here. Here's 8 damage coming back at them. That hits. Sword of Feast and Famine trigger. A Mask of Memory trigger. Let's go Mask of Memory on the bottom. Opponent's got 14 Commander on them. Apparently this is a Voltron deck. Going about it the worst way possible with +1/+1 off of Anthem effects because we haven't actually played that many creatures yet. Mask of Memory will trigger. Land and a land tax. Don't think we need the land tax. Ditch the mountain. Land tax gives us something to do. Should we pay? I'm going to let it go. We need to get a fog. Opponent goes back down to 23, by the way. But they're going to be able to gain a lot of life on the next one. Let's get Lena. No, do we want to get Gerard first? Gerard will give us an extra token off of Lena. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so Gerard. We have cost reduction of 2 on our white creatures, by the way. Pretty good. Draw a card. Hangware, Garrison. Nope, not what we were looking for. Not paying. We get a soldier off of the monument. Gerard into play. Board wipe protection. Let's get Lena. Or do we go for Hangware, Garrison and try to like draw some bit of removal? Yeah, maybe we do. Oketras and Vanquishers will trigger. Nope, that's a land. Ouch. Didn't need that. Cast Lena. Another Oketras trigger. Oop, Lena is not a soldier, but it does make soldiers. Well, that's not good. I was expecting to get that card draw right there. I'm going to leave this treasure up, I don't know, in case of a wheel or something. I mean, we've looked at 29 cards. Feel like we should have run into a piece of removal by now. Or something. I mean, we're talking about like 7 or 8 cards in the deck. That all, I mean, yeah, even more than that, we talk about Elish Norn. Aurelia gives us a flying blocker, which seems good enough in this moment. Fairy's protection would also be helpful. Chaotic's going to swing into the Gahiji? Oh, opponent's got a Goblin Sharpshooter. Yeah, so they're good against this Avon Squire. At least until the Exalted triggers happen. Tide Taker is going to Afterlife 1. Oh man, that's a Flying Spirit. You don't know how badly I want a Flying Spirit. He's going to Goblin Sharpshooter the Spirit. Sharpshooter untaps. I think opponent's just going to delete us. Yep, here comes Rafiq. There's the Guilt Spire Avenger. Destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. Yep, there's the finest hour. We're all arguing about who has to die right here. I mean, I get it. I've done a lot, but like, they're ground creatures. I don't have double strike. I don't have an extra combat yet. You know, all this gets cleaned up in a board wipe. This is actually, this is a problem. Like, these, it takes a little more to get rid of all these axes. Any creature they have will be huge now. That's just the way it is. And Rafiq in the command zone means it'll have double strike. I was going to send the bird into Chaotix first. Here come all the triggers. All right, sharpshooter going to take down the bird. Oh, thank God. Not like that. That's not how I want it to go. Also, I mean, I know they're attacking Chaotix, but I'm sure it's coming our way next after the finest hour. So all that'll fizzle. Opponent can still attack again. They can use the Battle Grace if they want to and still get that lifelink going. But they won't have time to equip all the axes, so that'll be nice. Oh my, that's so many triggers. Yeah, Rafiq is just strong. It's just strong. I kind of want to see a return to the Exalted mechanic, and I'd prefer that it was more in the Boros side of things. Like, I've talked about this in the past. There is literally a Bant extra combat spell, and there is not a mono-white extra combat spell. Nothing about extra combats is blue or green, and yet, here we are. Finest hour. Opponent doesn't take their second attack. Ooh, Boros Battle Shaper. That's a sweet card. Should that go in this deck? At the beginning of each combat, up to one target creature attacks if able, and one target creature can't attack or block this turn. Yeah, that's a pretty good card. Put that on our Odric. Ooh, yeah, they're going to make Odric block. Okay, so that's probably going to go down. It's a 5/6. I'm going to send Gahiji at it. It does have first strike. Probably should have sent a few more. Actually, that doesn't work. Okay, well, I guess we block right there. Still got first strike, so as long as I don't do anything else, we're in good shape. First strike, getting there, nice. First strike is a mechanic that I really like, but it's slightly less relevant in Commander than it is in like 1v1. 1v1, you lay down a bunch of 2/2s with first strike, and you've got yourself some real blocking power. In Commander, things tend to get so big that like it doesn't always do the same thing, but it can help you win little fights like that. Helps you keep your stuff alive so that they can't, you know, just like double block or something. So it does come up occasionally, but it's less relevant. Overall, flying and trample are usually stronger keywords in Commander than first strike, but I still love me some first strike. That's Mana Crypt. I think we're okay on the ramp. Probably didn't need more ramp. Pay for the Smothering Tithe. We'll sing opponent a sweet verse of First Strike is Deadly. Oh no, there's no way we're going to be able to attack with this. No, it doesn't stop an attacker, does it? Attacks or blocks if able, one target creature can't attack. Yeah, okay. They can prevent it from attacking if they want. Paying for this tithe, we'll pay. Mana Crypt, Field Marshal, Oketra's, and Vanquisher's Banner. There's a Scavenger Grounds. Don't really need more lands. Pay for the Smothering Tithe. Let's move the Feast and Famine, put that on this token. Move the Mask, I guess we'll leave it right there. I don't actually know, yeah, we'll get the Boros Garrison into play. I don't actually know that we're gonna get our Feast and Famine trigger. What are we bouncing? Kind of awkward. Yeah, I guess it's a Plains. Because that actually reduces our Plains count for Emeria. Puts us back down to 3, so it's going to be a minute. It's going to be a minute before that's active. Probably need a Sword of the Animus to do it. We can get the Windbrisk Heights going. That's pretty relevant. We'll move the Mask of Memory because Tajic's probably going to get fogged. No real evasion over here, just a lot of ground stuff, a lot of anthems. Evasion is a pretty big deal. Something to consider. That's the Boros Battle Shaper trigger. Man, I wish... If this thing was 6, 7 is so much. I mean, realistically, I wish it was 5. But at like 5 or 6 mana, this would probably see more play. It's pretty cool when you get into like a combat type of meta. Now, if people are getting into combos and stuff, this probably isn't where you want to be for the most part, just because it's slow is the biggest drawback, but it's a really sweet card. Tough choices for opponent. If we get to attack with the Odric, we can basically kill all the untapped creatures. That'll be cool. I think opponent went the wrong way on that. So they gave Chaotix creature that can't block. They should have given ours the can't attack. Let's go to combat. Swing like that. It's a 4/4. So we get a Tajic trigger, an Odric trigger, and a Hainware Garrison trigger. Odric trigger, Tajic trigger, and Hainware Garrison trigger. Chaotix can have the tokens. Alright, so we can choose blockers somehow. Rafiq there. That there. This one. Nope, spaced that out incorrectly. We'll leave him with the Guiltspire Avenger. Will this block that? This block that. This block that. This block... Maybe not. We'll just leave that one where it is. Opponent's gonna sharpshooter us. Sure. We get down to 26. Oh, opponent goes down to commander damage. Forgot about that. Oops. I thought they were gonna survive. I was trying to, like, play it cool. They did let us live this past turn, but I guess the other hand, too, is... that Finest Hour was definitely a thing. Alright. Feast and Famine Mask of Memory will trigger. Draw with the Mask of Memory. Pearl Medallion and Shared Animosity. Discard the Plains. Lands untap. We're going to go for this Nomad Assembly. This should be fun. I'm going to keep the Pearl Medallion and the Shared Animosity in hand just in case, but I feel comfortable just overcommitting with the creatures because of... One, because we've already got kind of a silly game going, but two, with Gerard and Lena in play, I feel okay that it's really going to take a lot to get rid of the creatures, so... We'll just go for the overcommits right there, but keep these back just in case opponents find a way out of it. Winds of Abandon, Ugin, stuff like that could actually be a problem, and we'll... Do we need the Windburst Kites? Yeah, I mean, I was going to Windburst Kites, but now that opponents are like low on life, don't have that much, we'll just hang back. Opponent's hoping that if he casts Gahiji, the number of triggers when I go to attack will crash the game. It's not impossible. Moto's been a little bit more unstable since the release of... what was the last set? Ikoria. Since Ikoria was released, it's definitely been less stable than it's usually is in the past. Wow, all these core soldiers are 4/4s with first strike. Those are pretty good tokens. Those are pretty good tokens. Yeah, I think opponent's been flip-flopped on this trigger every time so far. Opponent gonna swing into the Gahiji. Yeah, probably just wanting this game over at this point. I don't blame them. You know, sometimes it's not your game, and just get the game over with. Let's start a new one. I completely understand. Opponent does survive at 5. Devout Chaplain. Tap 2 target humans you control to exile target artifact or enchantment. That'd actually be pretty legit for this deck. We could use some of that. Not a lot of artifact and enchantment removal in this deck. A Ghostly Prison out of our opponents would be a nightmare. Doesn't look like opponents have much for us unless this last card is a Fog. Opponent gonna swing back at KO. Yep. This game has devolved. Utter silliness. Brings back to our turn. Mana Crypt, Nomads Assembly. This is going to get silly. We gonna make a lot of tokens right here. Oh my, that's a lot of creatures. Tails on the flip. On the flip. Extra draw. There's a Relic Seeker. There's a Flamekin Village. Go to combat. Opponent's going to say our Odric can't attack. Yep, that's fair. That'll also save us the trigger of having to click through a million things here. So start declaring attackers, trying to avoid anything that makes triggers. We could have played the Shared Animosity for some real silliness, but then it would just take longer. This should be lethal. Tajic trigger, sure. There it is! So Soldier Tribal taking it down. Kind of a silly game. Opponents definitely should have killed us. That's the thing they should have done. Sometimes it gets weird with the camera rolling. If I'm playing paper, they just come in and kill me, and then that's that. So, anyway, happy Memorial Day to everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this little Soldier Tribal deck. Yeah, the way that I've got it built right now, it's kind of a value. It wants to be a little bit value-y. It was weird that we caught all of our value pieces. Immortal Sun, Vanquisher's Banner, and Oketra's Monument, all really, really nice. Especially early, we got a Soul Ring to speed us up. So just... a really good opening hand and a lot of value in the opening hand. I could easily see this deck not doing that many of the times that you play it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Dennis Powell. Dennis, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything.